Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Mahasaya Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, who is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. In Ayodhya Kanda, verse number 183, and flowing towards verse number 184. Here the context of the storyline, that assembly was arranged to coronate Bharata after King Dasaratha had passed away, and his rituals, rites were performed, cremation rites. And all people were in agreement that Bharata should be the king, following the words of King Dasaratha. But Bharata opposed all that, but in a very gracious manner. Because all those who were saying, they were saying on the basis of being helpless. They didn't know how to face the situation. Bharata has the strength, and we have already gone through that stage. Whatever Bharata said to all people, but in a very courteous manner. The end result was that they all were so inspired by Bharata's words, and all felt very joyous that Bharata had the guts to say all those things. Because all had in their heart love of Rama. Behind this story, for deeper understanding, must realize historical stories are not to explore history. It's meant to understand mystical meaning. The Ramayana operates through every individual. The entire story, from the time of Dasaratha, being the source of Rama, Lakshmana, etc., and to the stage of Ramarajya and whatsoever you think of. The entire story operates in relation to every soul. Every soul has to go through integral yoga. Without going to much more detail in that stage, lessons to be learnt is what is bhakti, how important is bhakti, and how it should be practiced in your daily life, and how you should face challenges that obstruct your bhakti movement, and how you grow in bhakti process. First you start with immature concept of bhakti. Your evaluation, you are progressing in bhakti, is immature. People, to give you a simple way to understand, people who think they have become bhaktas, they are constantly planning how to go to visit pilgrimage centers, They tell everyone nearby, near one, because they have become bhakta and they must. I'm not discouraging that. The idea is there are different levels of bhakti. And each level has its own blessings. Then there is a level of bhakti where you relate yourself with certain deity. And you have experiences of the deity. The deity tells you, do certain austerities. And say, for example, Lakshmi Devi tells you, do austerities and adore Saraswati Devi. Saraswati Devi tells you, adore Rama. I'm talking to a different audience. So, in your bhakti movement, you are progressing, but in early stage. And you can understand many more details. But every step you take in bhakti is the most gracious development in your personality. And it enhances all your practice of yoga and allows your life to be purposeful. If bhakti is lacking, you will have no shakti, no strength to face challenges and forget about mukti or liberation. Now, therefore, turn your attention to Bharata's personality. He is bhakti movement personified. And see what challenges he has to face. And how does he face them? And what is the result when he faces them? And how many people are benefited by it. Matu sachiva guru pura nar nari, sakala saneha bikala bhai bhari. When Bharata convinced them all that he must go to see Rama. Then all those who were advising Bharata not to be the king, they became, their heart was touched by Bharata's statement, and they spoke out of their heart that Bharata is the very embodiment of love of Rama. Tat Bharat as kahe na kahu, prana samana Rama priya ahu. And a majority voice came from the assembly. Oh, beloved Bharata, it is appropriate, it is worth your personality, what you have expressed. You are as beloved of Rama as a life is to any person. Rama is your very life. Jo pavaru apni jadatai, tumai sugai mat putalai. All those who do not see you as a divine, gracious, inspiring personality, beloved of Rama, all those who don't have that view, rather they hold on to the idea that somehow you have been conspiring along with your mother against Rama. Those who view that way, what will happen? So satu kotik parpurush sameta basihi kalapasat naraka niketa. That wicked soul, dusht, along with millions of souls near and dear ones, will rot in hell. How long? Kalapsat. One kalpa itself is millions of years. Sat kalpa means hundreds of those kalpas, implying there is no limit of time. So long, what will they do? They will stay rotting in hell. Simple way of saying, if you don't have bhakti, you will not get mukti. So, if you don't get bhakti and you don't get mukti, what do? You stay in the world, suffering from all the worldly troubles. And that, the whole world process and whatever it gives you, even the illusion of pleasure and pain, all that is for a mature mind. All this is hell compared to the aspiration for liberation, the desire for staying in the world with a lofty profession. And that's that personality called dusht, who moved away from da movement, digesting the da, dhamma, controlling the mind and senses, daya, charity. No, dan. First, next comes dan. Dan, charity. Daya, compassion. Three great virtues. They are implied by the letter da. And you hear that karma coming when you take prasad, da is there. And different negative qualities that restrict your soul from attaining liberation, they are called 8 negative qualities that make the soul pashu, animal. So, if you have those negative qualities that take your movement away from the movement, and you go along with it, then you become dusht. The da in you is being obstructed by the 8 negative qualities. And that's the reality of practical world without sadhana. Avasi chaliye ban Ram jahan, Bharata mantru balak balakin, shoka sindhu budasa sabahi, tumha avalambanu deen. Oh, great Bharata, indeed, you must go to Rama. Your view is perfectly in order. Rather, we all who have been drowning in the ocean of grief, in brief, you have become the best support. The very same people who were advising him, now they are all praising Bharata. Bharata gives them hope. Because what they are, again, their intention is that since Bharata will be going, they will be also going along with him. Bha sabke man madhu modu na thora, janu dhan dhuni suni chatak mora. Janu dhan dhuni suni chatak mora. their mind was filled with joy, the joy that can be allegorically described as the joy experienced by peacocks and certain other birds when they look at the clouds coming to bring shower of rain. So that type of a joyous vision brought an internal thrill in the heart of all people. मुनि बंदी भरतहि सिरुनाई, चले सकल घर विदा कराई. And all those people, because the whole session had come to conclusion, so they started departing to go to their homes, and they did so by offering their adorations to Vasishtha and bowing down to Bharata. And while they go, they are all praising Bharata. His life is indeed blessed. He is the very embodiment of gentleness, compassion, goodness of the heart. कहीं परस्पर भाबड़ काजू, सकल चलय कर साजहि साजू. And they, talking among themselves, they said that let's all begin to prepare to follow Bharata to meet Rama. And in doing so, some people had to come to stay back, protecting the property or whatever, so all needed responsibilities. But those who were to stay back, they felt miserable, as if someone had crushed on their neck, banged the neck, crushing manner. को कह रहन कहिए नहीं काहू, को न चाहे जग जीवन लाहू. And some said, don't hold anyone back to take care of the house and property, etc. May we all go, one and all. No one left behind. जरौ सो संपत्ति सदन सुख, सुहृद मातु पितु भाई, सन्मुख होत जो राम पद, करे न सहस सहाय. And in this context, Tulsidasi suddenly puts a very powerful statement. And the statement is coming through their mouth, but ultimately it's from the heart of Tulsidas. And more ultimately, this is the insight into bhakti, devotional movement. And what the statement is, that sampatti, all the prosperity you have is called sampatti. Your house, your objects of pleasure, all your happiness that you receive from different sources, your friends, your parents, your brothers, all your near and dear ones. If they do not aid a bhakta, a devotee, with a joyous heart to succeed in the project of meeting Rama, may they all be burnt up. And behind that, simple truth is there. real good you do to anyone, सबको सन्मति दे भगवान. By promoting sanamati, right understanding in the heart of the person. And right understanding develops, that means you begin to live your life purposefully, which means you begin to practice integral yoga in your daily life, which means you highlight love of Rama, love of God. Love of God is the key behind success in all your practices. And it is that love that brings real flavor in all your worldly relations. If that love is not there, you are living in a miserable way. And of course, devoid of bhakti, where will you go? You continue with the world process. The disease of cycle of birth and death. There are endless cycles. So in all relations, always keep your mind focused on love of God. And it is on that basis, deal with people with philosophy of adapt, adjust. You have to be very careful not to hurt people. And there lies your skill. Help people. Help in such a way that you are not encouraging people to follow their whims, but encouraging them, inspiring them, strengthening them to pursue the paths of spiritual progress. घर घर साजहि बाहन नाना, हर्ष हृदय पर भात सपयाना. In storyline, they all began to prepare their vehicles, different type of vehicles, to go with Bharata to the project of meeting Rama. And their heart is filled with joy that with the rising of the sun, when the sun begins to rise with the first rays, they will begin their journey. Bharata also began to prepare for that trip. Of course, it was Bharata was the central personality. But he began to, what people say, put the ducks in a row for any project. Now Bharata began to look at the whole project, and first his mind went, all the treasures of Ayodhya, even horses, elephants, treasury, palaces, all these have to be protected while people go on this trip. Sampati sab raghupati kai ahi, jaun binu jatan chalaun taji tahi. All this is divine wealth. We must put all this in protection, in proper order, and then go to Rama. If you don't do that, to parinam namori bhalai, papa shiromani sai so dohai. Because all this property is Rama's property. And if you ignore the protection of the property, you cannot expect to receive Rama's blessings or grace. Bharata says, I will be considered crest jewel of sinners. Try to understand now our broad way, profound way. If in the name of bhakti, you don't look after your physical health, you put your house under turmoil, and your daily life has no order in it, and go on saying bhakti, bhakti, Ram, 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 that's all. That's not the picture of real devotee. What right have you to misuse all that is God's property? Everything must be maintained with skill, order, and graceful respect. In the name of bhakti, you should not lose practicality of your life. Practicality of your life is a part of bhakti. Because the practical realities, they are not your possessions. God has created. God has created your brain. Don't affect the brain by putting a brick on your head. God has given you your body with nervous system, with the operation of pranas. See that all this is kept in order. Then your love for God will have real vitality. Otherwise, it will be just palabra, just word, vain. This point is very important to understand. Otherwise, in the name of spirituality, people suddenly begin to break away from all practical realities of the world. And especially ignoring their own physical and mental health. If you don't have physical and mental health, you have destroyed the very foundation of your spiritual progress. Karai Swami hita sevaka soyi, dushan koti deyi kin koi. And in so doing, if people criticize you, condemn you, you should not be affected by it. He is the real servant of Rama, who serves Rama in spite of being insulted, in spite of facing countless challenges. As bichari suchi sevak bole, ye sapne hu nij dharam na dole. Having thus ascertained within his mind, Bharata gave instructions to all those who were his attendants or royal servants, who were very trustworthy. Bharata secured them with their different duties, how to protect all the property, etc. of Rama. In brief, Bharata departs, not keeping the Ayodhya desolate, but Ayodhya is being protected by professional personalities. And then he departs. Your bhakti movement requires your karma, your dhyana, your jnana, All these put in order. And then focus on the project of uniting with Rama. And each project requires its own practical realities. For physical body, you have to have sattvic food. For your general pranic control, you have to have yoga exercises, pranayams. And for many changes that have to develop in your body and mind, you have to have insight into Kundalini Yoga. All these are part of bhakti. Then your bhakti will be real. Otherwise, you have a disturbed personality living in an atmosphere of disharmony and bitterness, and then asserting within yourself, Siya Ram, something. Oh, this is God. With a headache, with aches and pains, and you are sad. You must realize I'm giving some highlighted points. That doesn't mean that anyone who is doing bhakti while the body is aching or you are suffering from certain disease or all that part of, because that you should not promote it, but if it has come, you face it and do everything possible to correct it. But behind all that, be always with the understanding that God is the one who is making you instrument in doing all this. The big source behind your inspiration, even the desire to make yourself healthy, is proceeding from God. Kahi sabu maramu dharamu bhalab, bhasha, jo jehi layak so tehi rakha. Thus, he engaged people according to their capacities, according to their professional abilities. And having secured Ayodhya and all the kingdom-based power, prosperity, having secured all that, Rama then goes to his mother, Kaushalya. Kaushalya is mother of mothers. That's in a storyline. Arat janani jani sab, Bharat saneha sujan, kaheu banavan palaki, sajan sukha sanajan. Bharata himself is described as embodiment of divine love. He goes and he sees mothers, they are in distress. He told them what has happened, that of course they all knew that Bharata is planning to go to meet Rama. And Bharata says to them that let's prepare for the journey. And in those days, palanquins were used. Let the palakis, what's termed as palanquins, let all the palanquins be arranged so that all of you come. Chakka chakki chimi, पुर नर नारी, चाहत प्रात उर आरत भारी. The night they passed was just like certain birds called chakwa chakai. They wait to see moon. And moon brings thrill in their heart. All of them simile is adopted. All those people in Ayodhya, especially the mothers and people of the royal palace, they spent the night in that type of a suspense. When will the sun shine? When will the sun shine? We start on a wonderful journey to behold Rama. कहेउ लेहु सब तिलक समाजू, बनहि देव मुनि राम ही राजू. One step back. जागत सब निशि भयउ बिहाना, भरत बोलाए सचिव सुजाना. Night passed. Very early morning, Bharata called all the ministers. कहेउ लेहु सब तिलक समाजू, बनहि देव मुनि राम ही राजू. And he instructed them to bring all things needed for coronating Rama, for performing coronation ceremony, even in the forest, and then bring him back into Ayodhya. And he said to them, in the forest, Vasishtha Muni will perform the coronation ceremony. And the mantris, all these attendants and ministers, they bowed before Bharata and immediately arranged horses, chariots, elephants for the trip. Arundhati aru agini samau, ras chari chale pasama muni rau. First one to commence the journey is Vasishtha, sage Vasishtha, Guru, his wife Arundhati, and all the ritualistic materials needed for coronation ceremony. All together in one big chariot that was for Vasishtha. Viprabrinda chari bahana nana, chale sakal saptapateja nidhana. And this was followed by all the Brahmins who were endowed with a mystic effulgence because of their tapasya, austerity, and because of their spiritual strength. And they used their different vehicles. Nagar log sab saj saji jana, Chitrakoot kaha kinna pavaya payana. And now followed all the citizens, not all those who were going from Ayodhya in their different chariots and vehicles. They all made themselves ready to go to Chitrakoot. That's where Rama was there at that time. All this cannot be described. It's indescribable, the whole scene. All the queens went in their beautiful palanquins. Saupi nagar suchi sevakani, sadar sakal chalai, सुमिरी राम से चरण तब चले भरत दो भाई. So having arranged the maintenance of Ayodhya and all those who were meant to maintain, look after Ayodhya, they had to return, having bowed before Bharata and in a very gracious way. And having turned their minds to Sita and Ram, Bharata, along with his brother Shatrugna, started the journey. Ram daras bas sab nar nari, janu kari karinik chale takivari. All men and women who were in this process of going to meet Rama, they were all feeling so thrilled. You are just like looking at an ocean of elephants. He elephants, she elephants. All going after drinking water from a mystic lake. And that's what it appeared. Gajagabini. That also I pointed out before. On one side, it gives you a very quick cartoon type of picture, elephant. Another side, elephant is called Gaja, the movement that terminates the cycle of birth and death. And what that implies? You are being involved in integral practice, with bhakti being the inspiring source. Banasiya Ramu samuju man mahi, sanuja Bharata paya dehi jahi. Bharata and Shatrugna, they commence their journey, remembering that Rama, Lakshmana and Sita, they didn't use any chariot in the forest. So they decided to go without any vehicle, their movement by foot. देखी सनेहु लोग अनुरागे, उतरी चले है गैर सत्यागे. But this is a preparatory stage that also is being given in a subtle way. Now people, when they saw Bharata leaving the chariot and just going on foot, they all started coming out of their chariots to follow the illustration of Bharata. Rama mi jai sami paraki nij doli, Rama matu mrit bani boli. Immediately when Kaushalya Devi saw, she went to Bharata. Her palaki came close to Bharata. And she said in her soft voice, Tat charahu rath bali mahitari, hoyi priya parivar dukhari. O child, O my son, dear son, the mother, with great love, pleads that you get into the chariot. If you don't do, look, all these people are going to suffer. And all of them are already emaciated because of all this pain. And they are not fit to travel on foot. What does it imply? If you followed path of devotion, do not give an example of meaningless austerity. Generally, that's the tendency of immature sannyasis. Whenever they wear wonderful clothes, etc., but whenever they have to take a trip, they put on a cloth that has been for 7 years. And minimum dressing for the body and maximum show of austerity. The devotee has to do your austerity, but keep it secret to yourself. Don't make a show out. If your practice of devotion, it creates commotion in people, giving a wrong type of example, taking their happiness and comfort and their movement is not in a right way, then in the name of spirituality, you are actually doing something very negative. All this subtle point is involved in these things. And Kaushalya Devi told this. Remember, Kaushalya is spirit of skill. In every project, in every sadhana, skill is needed. In the divine sadhana of attaining liberation, skill is needed. What you should do internally for yourself, that you move on without waiting for others. But do not impose on others while you are yourself not practicing it. Do not live that type of life that is meant only to impress others. And even if you are living right type of life, and it is giving a wrong impression to others, hide your austerity. A little lying is perfectly good. Deal with children, and you want them to take something nourishing, and you don't need it. But when you are in their company, put that thing first in your own mouth and say how wonderful it tastes. Now the children will follow. Mummy, give us. That's a simple illustration. With this we conclude. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuma Bandhanan Prityor Mukshiyamamritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyant Ma Kashchid Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat.